Welcome everyone to Breakfast at Wolferman's Bakery. I'm Francesco Bellato, and today we have a great show and even greater guests joining us. Sitting at our virtual table, we have the maven of all things marvelous, the CEO and founder of Alice's Table, Alice Lewis. Welcome, Alice.
Hi there.
Welcome, Alice. Next up, we have Aisha Beaufrisbee. Aisha is a digital content creator, speaker, and founder of AishaBeau.com, a digital destination highlighting all things self-care for women of color. And she just launched a self-love podcast, Rewritten. Welcome, Aisha.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here and good morning. And also, if it doesn't get any better, today we have the creator of The Curious Plate, cookbook author, and food lifestyle blogger. Welcome, Lauren Grier.
Hi, so excited to be here today.
Same here. Thanks for joining us, everyone. So today we're chatting about thankful and grateful, right? All of us have to get into that mindset. Thanksgiving is around the corner. And also for those of you watching, please join along and share in the comments below on what you're thankful for this year. We would love to know. My comment, just so you know, is I'm thankful for all of you being here and all of you watching. So now when we think of Thanksgiving, we instantly think of food, or at least I know I do. Lauren, you have a recipe to kick us off this morning. Overnight eggs Benedict casserole. Walk us through that. That sounds really delicious.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Eggs Benedict casserole is a great brunch dish to serve, breakfast dish, whatever you're doing that morning for Thanksgiving. That can be prepared actually the night before. So it's just one more thing you don't have to do on Thanksgiving morning. You can assemble it and just toss it in the oven the next morning. And it's great because it's completely customizable and you can feed a crowd quick, fast, in a hurry. So let me show you, and I can walk you through the steps on how to make this easy overnight eggs Benedict. We're going to start with amazing Wolferman's signature English muffins. I love these muffins because look how gorgeous and fluffy they are. They have such great texture and flavor. And I've got started here in a casserole prepared dish already. I've got about 5 English muffins cut and cubed about a 1-inch size. And alongside with that is some chopped up Canadian bacon. Little pro tip too, if you wanted to make this the day after Thanksgiving as well, you could use leftover turkey, which could be really fun and a great way to use up leftovers. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up, just slice into this English muffin. You're gonna slice it in half. And then you're just gonna cut 3 times. So you're gonna make basically about 9 cubes comes out of 1/2 of a muffin. And you're just gonna sprinkle those in. We'll do the next one. So in this bowl, I've got 8 eggs. And one tip that I would like to I'll share is always poke the yolks before you add in your ingredients. It just makes it easier. And then that way you could just have like everything's all mixed and wonderful. And then you'll add in all the rest of your liquids and spices. So I'm just gonna whisk with these eggs together, and I've got about 8 in here. Next, we're gonna add in about 2 cups of half and half. You want some fat in your mixing. Milk is good. Whipping cream's the best. For this, I just stuck with a mixture. I just did half and half. It's what I had in the fridge. So we're just gonna whisk that together. And then I'm gonna add in some spices. Again, you can use whatever you want. I have a mixture of ground mustard, some thyme, some onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. So we're just gonna add that into the mixture. Give that a good stir. So again, and here I've already got the cubed English muffin with the Canadian bacon. Now I'm gonna pour in the egg mixture, ever so carefully. So you just gently pour it over. Try to get all the English muffin pieces covered. And then you're just going to take a back of a spatula and just gently push those down so everything gets nice. The egg mixture gets nice and absorbed with the English muffins. And then we're going to add my favorite part, which is cheese, because cheese makes everything better. Traditionally, eggs Benedict casserole, like, you don't have to use cheese, but I think it's a great option when you want to help combine stuff. And who just doesn't like cheese? Like, It's the best thing ever. So we'll add that to the top. And this point, you could bake it the day of if you want to, or you would cover it with foil and then bake it off, or put it in the fridge for overnight and then bake it off in the morning. So, in the magic of TV, we have a finished version. We baked for about 30 minutes with the foil, and then we uncover it to get that nice golden, beautiful brown crust with extra cheese on top. But the piece de resistance, I think, is Hollandaise sauce. It's one of the easiest sauces to make. You can do it in the blender. You can just whip some egg yolks, some Dijon mustard, some cayenne pepper, some lemon juice, and then you just add in melted butter to emulsify everything. It's super quick, super simple, and then you're just gonna pour it over the casserole. I'm telling you, you'll get some oohs and ahs. I'm not gonna lie. It's just such a fun dish. And I mean, come on, let's be real. Like, who wants to poach, 10 eggs for people? Like, this is a quick, fast, and hurry. Still has all those great flavors that you can do. And it's just, I don't know. I think it's a total cloud person. Personal thing. So we got that Hollandaise sauce over. And then I'm just going to sprinkle in some freshness. Got some chives on top. And then what I love too is just to do a little pinch of paprika, because I think it makes it just look extra pretty. And that's it.
Awesome. And who does not love cheese, like you said? Any substitutes you can recommend if someone does have a dairy allergy, or any ingredients you could switch out with that?
Yes, you can definitely use, if you have like gluten-free people, you can do gluten-free muffins. You can also use vegan cheese as well. And you can omit the Hollandaise sauce too. You don't have to have that. But again, it's just such a quick and easy casserole to make that's pretty versatile. So. And
it sounds delicious. I have a lot of those ingredients here, so I can't wait to try it myself. Absolutely. Yeah. And it sounds like a nice tradition too, to start with your family if you want something to do, that morning.
Yes, it's great. And again, it just saves time and can feed a crowd, and it's so delicious. And let me show you really quick. Who wants to dive in? Because I'm about to.
Okay, so Aisha, that recipe seemed kind of simple, stress-free, but to a lot of people, they tend to go overboard and get stressed preparing a meal and hosting guests this season. Please share with us any and all tips and tricks on how to not get overstressed or overwhelmed when hosting family and friends. Please help us there.
Yes, I love hosting, and it's definitely difficult being a host and preparing, especially during the holiday season. It's a beautiful time and it's a fun time, but it also leads to a lot of stress. So it's important that we try to manage that as much as possible and remember the reason for the season. It's fellowship, Thanksgiving, being grateful, optimistic for the year to come, and just being together. The first tip is to try to plan ahead. I think planning as far in advance as possible can save you so much trouble. It can save you a lot of stress and headaches, because, knowing exactly what your meal is going to be, how you're going to lay everything out, what it is that you'll need on the day of, the day before, however you like to start cooking. I think planning ahead is something that is so important. And I would just advise writing it down as thoughts come to your mind, or recipes or ideas on presentation come to your mind. Just jotting down a few notes and getting yourself adequately prepared beforehand can be so helpful in maintaining the holiday stress. And from there, I do think it's important to, again, remember the reason for the season as you're doing this and preparing. I think a lot of times we can get so caught up in how, in what we want to do and all that we have to do, you. And it's important to slow down and think about the fact that you're doing this to celebrate, you're doing this to share and spread love to your family and showcase that in the process. So I think when we take a moment to internalize that, it can make us more motivated and optimistic as we're preparing these incredible but stressful meals. And my last tip is to ask for help. I think it's important to tap into those around you, whether that's your family or a close friend who might be joining you for dinner as well, asking others for help in either preparing a dish, being there as a shoulder to lean on as you prepare for a meal, prepare the meal or whatever that may be. Also, it can make it a nice, fun, interactive way to bond with your family. Maybe having your kids help you or your spouse help you. I think that can be really fun as well. And it adds some type of interactive element to the entire process, and it'll become a new memory that you all can share together. So I think those are some ways that you can try to de-stress. Sometimes stress is inevitable during this time of year, but again, just remember why you're doing this and, take your time, plan ahead, take your time, remember the reason for the season, and lean on those around you.
Aisha, that's such great advice. Thanks for recapping all those for us and putting a beautiful holiday bow on it. Quick question. What does it take to be a good guest, though? I mean, how can you be a good guest and not frazzle your host? Any tips there?
Yes, being a good guest is crucial in making this possible. So I think it's really important to reach out to the host beforehand, see what they need beforehand, and don't necessarily assume what they might need or what you think that might be useful when you arrive. I think reaching out to the host and asking them what they may need help with, or if there's something that they prefer that you bring or not bring, I think is really important to know beforehand. And also, arriving on time is always great, because as a host, we are planning, prepping away, and we want everything to be done at a certain time. So making sure that you're there when the food is nice, warm, and fresh is also a very helpful way to be a model guest. And, offering your help while you're there as well. If you see that the host might be a little bit frazzled or things are taking a little bit longer than anticipated, just politely asking if they need a hand, or if you see anything out of place, maybe just helping in those areas as well. I think your host will really, really appreciate it. And of course, always bring a lovely gift for the host as well, whether that's flowers, a bottle of wine, whatever it may be, just to thank them for doing this for you and, sharing the love as well.
Excellent advice. Thank you. Lauren, do you have any extra little tips to throw in there? Does something work for you that helps you stay calm during the holidays?
Oh man, there's a lot.
One quick
Always
one.
budget in, if you are hosting for Thanksgiving, always budget in at least 30 to 45 minutes of extra cooking, whatever it is, because everything always goes off schedule. It's a constant moving target with people, with food. You just never know. So I always budget in for my cooking schedule, for when people arrive. Just give yourself 45 minutes just to have some buffer zone. So trying to just take that ease off of it, so you're not twiddling your thumbs when it's 2:00 and there's no food on the table or whatever. So I just think allow to give yourself some buffer and zone on that, to plan that in.
Agree. Alice, how about you? Anything you can throw into the pile here of tips to stay calm and be stress-free the morning of or day of for Thanksgiving?
Absolutely. I mean, I am always the cook in our family, and I love it. Thanksgiving is one of my favorites. And I really like to push a lot of my cooking to Wednesday. So I do the pies, the stuffing, get the butter rub that I use for my turkey done on Wednesday. That way, Thursday, I can enjoy my family and friends and, sit down, watch some football, watch the kids, and enjoy. So move it all a day early. That's what I say.
I agree. If you can do it, do it. And friends watching, we'd love to hear your advice. Let's all share in this conversation. Any tips you have, put them in the comments below. We'd love to learn from you as well. Okay, so, we've covered food. We've covered family, friends. And now let's chat about another must-have, another F, floral. I mean, this time of year especially, I think it's safe to say it's centerpiece season officially. Alice, talk to us a little bit about decorating for the holidays and, maybe doing a gorgeous centerpiece.
Absolutely. So I love to put together a gorgeous centerpiece the week of Thanksgiving. I actually usually do it early in the week or even the week before so that it's on my dining table, and choose really long lasting flowers, which I'll show you here, so that I have them all week long for Thanksgiving. That way I can build my tablescape around it, and I'm not worrying about building a flower arrangement right as I'm cooking everything. So one of the best tips is using a larger low arrangement. Okay. Nobody wants that big, tall flower arrangement in the center of the table at Thanksgiving. And you've got to talk to Uncle Joe by going like this, right? Give that low, long arrangement and you'll have great conversations. So good rule of thumb is nothing over a foot. Okay, nothing over a foot. You can have candlesticks because those are easy to dodge, but give yourself a long, low centerpiece. So today I've chosen a box vase here. And I've greened my base, which that is always the first thing you need to do. It's the thing that people always forget. They go straight to the gorgeous flowers, but use your greenery first. This creates structure. It creates the outline of your bouquet, and it allows you to fill in from there. So I've greened up my base already with Israeli ruscus. So I haven't worried too much about what it looks like. You can see here, it's kind of still got lots of holes, but I want that base greened up. From there, I work with my largest flowers first. Today, those are our sunflowers. And I've hydrated them in their cage, which is really important. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my sunflowers. We always work largest to smallest with our flowers. That way we fill up our vases and we get to the smaller flowers to fill in the dead space. Other thing that's really important when you're arranging is always to spin your vases. Look at it from every angle. If you only arrange from one side, you're going to have a mantelpiece and not a centerpiece. We want a centerpiece for Thanksgiving. Okay. Now that I have my sunflowers in, I'm going to move on to my roses. And one tip with roses is always take off an outside petal or two. These are called guard petals. They protect the roses, but they also don't let the rose open fully. So take one off. Give it a little bit of warm air, blow on it. That will start the opening process and you'll have big, gorgeous roses in no time. I should mention I'm using floral foam for this bouquet. That green, some people call it Oasis foam, which is a brand, but floral foam is really a great thing to use when you want a structured bouquet. You want maximum control to be able to know exactly where your flowers are going. So when I'm doing a special event centerpiece, like a Thanksgiving centerpiece, I'm always opting for floral foam. I'm just going to put my roses in just like that. And once I put my roses in, I'm going to move on actually to what's called a pincushion protea. That is this guy right here. It's actually a tropical flower, believe it or not, pincushion protea. I love picking one element that is completely unexpected. A lot of people have never seen this before. It's tropical, right? So you're like, fall arrangement, what is that? But it's just so gorgeous. The other reason I love putting an element like this into my bouquets is that pincushion protea can last for a month or more. So when this arrangement dies, I can always grab my pincushion protea, put it in a bud vase, and I have something to go in that guest room when my mother-in-law won't leave. I can put a nice flower in there. She's got something fresh in her room that looks really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of these protea in. And then finally, but perhaps most importantly, you need to finish off your bouquet with texture. You've got lots of holes still. I've got places where I can see the floral foam. So I have some mums here and what's called soldagio. Okay. These 2 elements are going to allow me to fill in and make sure that I have a nice full bouquet that all I can see is tons and tons of flowers. If you think about what we've done today, We started by greening our base, and then we added our showpiece flowers from largest to smallest. Really important because that way you get a nice full look, and having something like a mum during the Thanksgiving season is great because it lasts such a long time that you can have this bouquet. This bouquet will probably last, if you get the flowers direct from the farm like these are from 1-800-Flowers, they'll last about 2 to 3 weeks if you care for them properly. Okay. I'll just come in here and get a little bit more texture and fill in up in the top. And there is our Thanksgiving centerpiece.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. Great job. So we're going to spin it. We're going to choose long-lasting flowers, and we're going to fill in the little pieces of magic there. I love it.
You're a pro already. Look at that. You've nailed it.
I have a question for you, though. If someone doesn't want to use the Oasis or the green foam, right? Can they do the little Scotch tape trick over the vase? Have you seen that done?
Absolutely. So Scotch tape trick is great. Basically, you're going to build a tic-tac-toe board across the top of your vase. That'll give you some extra structure. But remember, the most important thing is to green your base first. Even if you get a mixed bouquet, let's say somebody brings you a mixed bouquet as a hostess gift, take it apart. Start with the greenery, work your way from largest to smallest, and you'll build a really successful arrangement. Also, if you can get thinner tape, so it's not quite as thick as the Scotch tape, they actually make special clear floral tape that's about 1/4 inch. That's even better because it doesn't take up so much room in your vase. But a tic-tac-toe board is definitely the way to go.
Definitely the way to go. I love it. Any simple other go-to tips for, the morning of Thanksgiving? I know we shared some ideas earlier about, preparing things a couple of days in advance, but what about that morning of after breakfast? Is there something you do in your family that just sort of, helps the day along?
I mean, setting the table in the morning is a tradition of ours. It's always so much fun to get up, have breakfast, and then set the table, make it look beautiful. Obviously, in my house, it always starts with the flower arrangement. So we're putting that in the center of the table and then building out from there. But it's just a nice way to get together with some of your family, have some coffee in a low stress way in the morning.
That's great. And you actually lead into a great question I have next for all of you, and even audience watching. I would love to hear what your take on this is. All right. So speaking of centerpieces, do you move it when the food is placed on the table? So are you set it and forget it, or are you team lift it up and load up the food? Aisha, how about you? What's your rule on that?
I like to set it and forget it. I love to just leave it as is. And as I'm putting together a tablescape, I make sure that there's, space for us to lay out the food. Or if it's a really tight table, I generally like to have the food set up maybe in the kitchen and, have everyone kind of serve themselves and then seat themselves, because the tablescape is just so important. I could never.
How about you, Lauren?
I agree. I'm the same way. I think that you just want to provide as much intimacy as possible. And I love that flowers provide that atmosphere. And I think it's great whenever you can just have people serve themselves. It takes the pressure off you. Everybody can sit down and they can get up and down if they need to get some more extra nibbles.
That's Alice. I think I know what you're going to say, but
I'm a set it and forget it type of girl. I mean, the tablescape is my work of art at the beginning. Right. So I'm like, don't touch that. You can't move that. Nope. Salt and pepper shakers can't go there.
Yeah. Okay. So keeping in the same kind of theme, right? Let's have a little Thanksgiving fun, shall we? You guys up for a little game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to do a Thanksgiving edition of a game I like to call Thanks or No Thanks. I'm going to throw out a question, and if you're a fan of it, say thanks. If you're not a fan, say no thanks. We'll go in rotation of Aisha, Alice, and Lauren. And here we go. Ready? And if you want to play along, type it in the comments. We'd love to know. All right. This is all for Thanksgiving Day now, right? So traveling. Thanks or no thanks?
Ooh, no thanks.
No thanks.
Your aunt's gelatin mold, the one with the marshmallows and the fruit. Is that a thanks or a no thanks, Aunt?
It's a thank you, and we'll place that to the side. Thank you so much.
That's a no thanks. How about you do appetizers this year?
Right.
Definitely no thanks. I'm good.
All day football games.
That's a thanks. My husband loves football, so he'll indulge.
I say thanks because everyone needs something to defer to when the conversation gets a little, not tasteful. Let's say that.
Definitely thanks because it keeps people out of the kitchen so you can get stuff done.
Yes.
And last one, leftovers. I mean, like the leftovers a day after the leftovers. When you just see the leftovers in the fridge still 3 days later, those leftovers. Thanks or no thanks?
Thanks. I love the leftovers. Give me them for a few days straight, and I'm in a happy place. Just Thanksgiving all over again.
I love the leftovers. That's a thanks for me. I actually take the stuffing and put eggs into it and bake it the day after for the whole family, and it is amazing.
Definitely thanks. We make breakfast hash, enchiladas, you name it. We just use as much as you can because you've been cooking for almost like 3 weeks, it feels like. So you gotta take advantage of all of it.
I'm good for like day 1 or 2, but after that, I need pizza and tacos and other things that I haven't seen in a week. All right, well, cool. That was fun. And I'm a little hungry now too this morning. Thanks for joining us, and thanks everyone for watching. Please tune in next month for one of our other episodes in December. It has something to do with a little bit of fa la 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 la. That's right, we're getting festive. Until then, wishing you and yours a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving ahead. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.